The mystery, which is the love that we call God, is with you all. Thanks be to all that is holy. During this long COVID isolation, I have longed to see you all. Alas, the limitation of my pastoral roles as presider and preacher have been limited to pre-recorded videos, which means that although you can see me, I cannot see you. So over the past 20 months, I have tinkered with the traditional liturgical greeting, which, as it is written, goes like this: "The Lord is with you," to which the assembled congregation responds, "and also with you." Now, I gave up using the word Lord to symbolize the mystery which is beyond words years ago. I also gave up the rather strange practice of clergy somehow telling this Lord where to be, i.e., with you. Now, over the years, my liturgical tinkering has evolved, moving from "the Lord be with you" to "the Lord is with you," and then to "God is with you," and then to using all sorts of different words to symbolize the mystery which is beyond words. I used words which included feminine, masculine, and gender-neutral images to symbolize the divine mystery. Words like the ancient Hebrew El Shaddia for she who has breasts, or the modern gender-neutral word like creator. For the past few years, my liturgical greeting is an attempt to expand our words beyond personifications, whether those personifications are masculine or feminine. And I want to hint at an image of the deity which is beyond our ability to express. And so the word mystery, which, although this word also fails to express the divine one, the word mystery is my attempt to point beyond images. The mystery, which is love, comes from my conviction that the life, the teachings, and the death of Jesus of Nazareth embodies Jesus' conviction that God is love. So for several years now, when we assembled in this place, I greeted the congregation with, "The mystery, which is the love we call God, is with you all," to which the assembled congregation responded, "and also with you." Oh, how I have missed hearing your responses. Standing alone in my living room, proclaiming to the camera in my phone the mystery which is the love we call God is with you all. This was a very lonely exercise, which felt a little flat to me. So early on in this long isolation, I began responding on your behalf. Thanks be to all that is holy. All that is holy. All that is. There's that little word "is" from the verb to be, which is the ancient Hebrew name for the God Moses encounters in the burning bush, Yahweh. I am who I am, or I will be who I will be. This is my name, says the mystery, the verb to be. Thanks be to all that is, the very mystery itself, being beyond words. Thanks be to all that is holy, all that is holy. Holy, an English word from the Germanic word for whole, a way of expressing the sacred, that which is divine, divine wholeness, oneness. I so long to see all that is holy. But here I stand, still preaching into my phone, and I cannot see you, you beautiful, holy, sacred beings who are one with the mystery which is the love we call God. I want to see. The gospel text assigned for this Sunday comes to us from the anonymous gospel storyteller, which we call Mark. And it tells the story of a blind beggar named Bartimaeus, who was sitting at the side of the road as Jesus was leaving Jericho. The gospel storyteller writes that when the blind beggar heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to shout out and to say, "Heir of David, Jesus, have pity on me." Many people scolded the beggar and told him to be quiet, but he shouted all the louder, "Heir of David, have pity on me." Jesus stopped and said, "Call him here." So they called the blind man. "Don't be afraid," they said. "Get up. Jesus is calling you." So, throwing off his cloak, Bartimaeus jumped up and went to Jesus. Then Jesus said to the beggar, "What do you want me to do for you?" "Rabboni," the blind man said, "I want to see." Jesus replies, "Go, your faith has saved you." And immediately Bartimaeus received the gift of sight and began to follow Jesus along the road. I want to see. Like the blind man, I too want to see. I want to see all that is holy. I want to see the one which is the mystery. And I want to see all that is holy, the sacred, all which is one with the mystery which is beyond words. I want to see. I no longer believe in the Lord, the image of divinity, as some superhuman, superman, super being out there somewhere. The God of my childhood, my longing years, the Lord I once longed to serve, is no longer the object of my desire. As humanity's wisdom has expanded, we have learned so very much about the nature of reality. And so my longings for the one which is the love, which is the source and ground of all being, these longings, they have grown exponentially. As I preach into this camera, I am reminded just how much our worlds have expanded. My pastoral greetings are no longer limited to those who can assemble here in this place. Today, I greet those of you who worship with us from Texas, Australia, Glasgow, New Zealand, California, British Columbia, Hamilton, Edmonton, Sussex, Newmarket, Aurora, and places I have yet to learn about. The technology in that little gadget may confound us from time to time, but it also opens us all to a way of being in the world which requires new ways of seeing. The trouble is that if you are anything like me, the old ways of seeing are so much more familiar to us that we may be just like the blind beggar crying out, not on the roadside, but from within the confines of our familiar ways of being. As much as I know up here in my head that the Lord is too small a word to capture the mystery which is beyond words, beyond capture, in here, in my heart, my old ways of being, of knowing, of seeing, prompt me to beg that old guy up there in the sky, the personification of my familiar desires, my sweet Lord, to show himself. Give me that old-time religion, give me that old-time religion, give me that old-time religion. It's good enough for me. But it's not. No matter how soothing the appeal to what once was good enough, I still want to see. I want to see all that is holy, the mystery which is beyond the beyond and beyond that also, our lover, beloved, and love itself. I want to see. And all Jesus has to say for himself, according to our story, is, "Go. Your faith has saved you." And immediately Bartimaeus received the gift of sight and began to follow Jesus along the road. That's it? Go in faith and follow Jesus? Now, if only I were an old-time preacher, I could just leave it right here. Just have faith, everyone, and you will see. Done and dusted. So on your way, go. Your faith has saved you. But I still can't see all that is holy, and I still want to see. A couple of weeks ago, I found myself walking along an old familiar path which I haven't been able to travel for several years. It may come as no surprise to some of you, but I was on vacation in my beloved British Columbia, in the place which has shaped much of who I am. Walking in an ancient rainforest along familiar trails, it didn't take long for the scales to begin to fall from my eyes. It was cold, and it was damp, but the sun's rays managed to pierce the sodden majesty of the forest, and I could see. I could see all that is holy in everything. Everything, every beautiful thing on that pathway is sacred. Everything is holy. Everything is sacred. The rotting forest floor is sacred. The ancient towering trees are sacred. The sprouting fungi is sacred. The footsteps of my lover who hiked on ahead of me are sacred. The smiles and frowns of the people I encountered are sacred. The light streaming down upon me is sacred. The gentle blue waters of the coastal inlet in which the mountains dip their toes is sacred. I could see all that is holy in everything on that blessed holy day. I trust that you too have experienced the sacred in the beauty of the earth. I trust that we don't have to be on vacation to experience the sacred in the beauty and the wonders of creation. So it's all too easy to just replace dear Lord with creator of all that is and worship the divine one in the beauty of nature. But here I stand with just a couple of ferns to represent the beauty of creation, staring into a camera, begging to see the Holy One here where the realities of our life in the world continue to keep us in the world. I want to see. And even now, even after catching a glimpse of all that is holy just a couple of weeks ago, even while the trees outside are putting on a spectacular autumn display of the glory of creation, even though I know up here in my head that the sacred is in everything, I still want to see the one in whom I live and move and have my being. So wanting to see, I took another walk right down Main Street, convinced that my old ways of being are blinding me to the reality that everything and everyone is sacred. I hit the road, attempting to follow Jesus, to see what Jesus saw, so that my faith might save me from my blindness to the reality that everyone is sacred. I wanted to see the holy in everyone. Now, it's relatively easy to see the sacred in the wonders of creation, but our old ways of being may not enable us to see the sacred in everyone. I wonder what our lives would be like if we encountered the people in our lives with the blind beggar's words living in us as a question to inspire our actions. I want to see. I want to see the sacred in you I want to see in you the one in whom we all live and move and have our being. In you, in him, in her, in everyone I want to see. Take a walk in the world, down your own main street, wanting to see all that is holy. Let your faith open your eyes so that you can reverence the one who is in the faces of everyone. The mystery, which is the love we call God, is with you all. Thanks be to all that is holy. What form will your greeting become? What sacred revelations will you open yourself to? How will you reverence the sacred in everyone you meet? What form will your thanks become? Go now. Your faith has saved you. The gift of sight is yours to explore. Follow Jesus along the road. The mystery, which is the love we call God, is with you all. Thanks be to all that is holy. That's you, each and every one of you. And so the God in me, the holy in me, the sacred in me, greets the God in you, the holy in you, the sacred in you. For we are in God, and God is in us. Thanks be to the one who is, beyond the beyond and beyond that also, our lover, beloved, and love itself. Amen.